Hello there, my name's Annette with Sunbeam Fabric Art. Welcome to my channel. The very first quilt I ever made was a crazy quilt, and the only reason I made it was because I discovered this book while I was out on a cross-stitch shop visit. Now this is a copyrighted book, so even though the quilts in it are beautiful and it does come with patterns, I am going to teach you today how to make your own crazy quilt pattern and a template that you can use to create your own pre-printed batting if you want to do quilts as you go. For supplies, I have copy paper, I have some clear shipping tape, I have a ruler, a pen, scissors. I am also using a paper trimmer left over from my scrapbooking days, but you can also use an X-Acto knife. If you plan to do some pre-printed batting, you're going to need some batting. Then you're going to use some chalk that will draw on your batting. Make sure it is a washable chalk. My first step to make a crazy quilt pattern is to make a 5-sided shape. That initial shape is piece 1. Then I put a little 2 and a 3 off to the side. Those are going to be my second and my third. You can see I'm lining up the edges of my 5-sided shape, just making them go out just a little bit farther, and then I am closing that area off to make my section number 2 for this block. Then I'm going to do the same thing for that number 3 I put there. Now I'm adding a little number 4 and a little number 5. I'm going to do the same thing, extending my straight edges around these additional pieces of my block. And here with piece 4 up above and piece 5 below, I'm extending that straight line above and below to close off my pieces 4 and 5. And I took the lines for piece 6 all the way to the edge of the paper. Now I want this block to be square, so I am cutting off this with a line 2.5 inches from the edge of the paper. I'm not going to have any of my block on that part. And I continued adding my piece 7, 8, 9, and 10, and I am done drawing the crazy quilt block. So I folded that extra piece underneath, and then I'm using the shipping tape, this clear shipping tape. I am going to cover the entire front of my crazy quilt pattern with this tape. Now I want to trim off any excess tape or paper. The most important thing is that when I'm done with this, it will lay flat. And just a note, you do not have to make this crazy quilt exactly like you are seeing me do it. You can make more pieces to make it more complex, or take it down to maybe 5 or 6 pieces per block to make it a little bit easier. And in addition, if the sides are not exactly square, it's okay, because when you're finished with this block, you are going to trim it to size anyway. So don't worry if it's a little bit off. Now that I've got it all taped, to make my stencil, I'm going to be cutting. But before I cut, I want to take anywhere that two lines come together with each other or with the edge of the page. I need to circle that off and not cut. You don't want to be cutting where two pieces join together. We just want to make a stencil that will have little lines between all these joins. So I'm going to start with the longest line here, and what I am going to do with my paper trimmer is set my line a little bit to the right of the cutting line, and then I am going to cut between these little circles. Then I'm going to move the paper over so that that line is a little bit to the left of center and make those exact same cuts. And that's going to create my stencil, as you are going to see. Now I'm taking my scissors to complete cutting out what is essentially a long skinny rectangle. And you can easily see that an X-Acto knife would work just as well as my little paper trimmer and my scissors. Now before I continued, I wanted to do a little test with my chalk and my batting. Here you can see I'm just drawing a couple of lines, and here you can see how those come through on the batting very nicely. And just a reminder, use washable chalk. If you're not sure, test it. With my stencil all done, I am ready to do some pre-printed batting, and then I'll be able to do some Quilt As You Go Crazy Quilt. Now notice my batting and my backing also are going to be a little bit bigger than my little square, which will probably end up being about 8.5, 8 inches, somewhere in there. And you can see by using that shipping tape, this little template can be used over and over and over again. You can keep it forever. Double checking my numbers 1 through 10, I saw that I missed a little line, and it was so easy to just put this stencil right back down and draw the line that I missed. I just moved down my piece of batting. I'm not too worried about cutting these apart yet. I'll do that later. And just creating another pre-printed batting square. And here is our lovely pre-printed batting and our stencil that it will last forever and we can keep it and use it again and again. If you'd like to get notified when I post new content, you just hit that bell icon after you subscribe to my channel. I hope this little video was helpful for you, and I hope you can use this idea sometime in the future. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you back again real soon.